this is what you said. You said, what's so special about me? Most women aren't special.
Well, that's like, down to your personal opinion.
No, I'm like, seriously, what do women bring in 2022 that is special?
Nothing.
Do most women have a cookbook? Do most women really know how to cater to a man? No. Are most women virgins on their wedding day? No. So what do most women bring in 2022 that is special?
But why is it all about what we can offer? Why is it always about what we can bring?
Okay,
about our values?
Because
I'm glad you asked, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because that's exactly the same thing that you ask from men. Okay? You guys demand a guy that is 6 feet tall, 6 figure, 6 pack. So when you are making those demands, it's okay for the men to do the same. So if you want to be able to choose, I want this, this and that, we are also allowed to choose. We want this, this and that. It's simple as that. Put in the comments if you agree with me or if you just think that I'm spitting nonsense.
I'd say the man dodged a bullet here. The way she wrote how he didn't pay makes it seem like she was in it for the free food more than actually meeting the guy. Whoever told women that Botox is attractive is pure evil. Don't these women realize that men are watching their videos too? They are educating men about their shallowness and lack of accountability. Let me ask you this, ladies, if a guy meets all your requirements, drives a $100,000 car, makes $1 million a year, is 6 foot tall, wears all the ice and rocks, and buys you a ridiculously expensive ring, are you now willing to be 100% his wife and do, act or wear whatever he tells you? You aren't the only ones with expectations, so you have to be prepared for it to go both ways.
But there's something to be said about age and experience, life experience. A lot happens in your 20s, and things level out.
Getting ran through in baggage and trauma.
There's people with
men don't want that. Men don't want that.
So then why aren't they wifing us early? Why are they running around town? Like, you know, if they don't want us ran through in baggage and trauma, why are they like they're waiting till, like, how are we so at 20 I should be looking for 40-year-olds that are ready to settle? I don't know how to I don't know how you it sounds like just a losing battle all around if you look at it as like all the responsibilities.
But it depends on if you're a wife. All wives are found, always. If you're 20 years old and you're a wife, you're going to be found, period. In the story.
Even when men spend half their salary on women through court-ordered payouts, they often see someone else get the goods whilst they get nothing themselves. Men are sick of seeing Chad or Tyrone steal their rewards after paying women nothing.
If your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more monies, 150 maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure. The more the merrier. But
300,000, like I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work. Like, life's expensive.
Anywhere from 70 to 100K. I would have to say 127.
$500,000.
How old are you?
22.
How many units of Botox do you have?
32.
Lauren, how old are you?
24.
And how many units of Botox do you have?
I have 104. I have 40 in my masseters and 64 in my face.
Jess, how old are you?
I'm 34.
And how many units of Botox do you have?
I have 34 units.
Dr. Cruz, how old are you?
I'm 44.
And how many units of Botox do you have?
76.
Kyla, how old are you?
34.
And how many units of Botox do you have?
I have 28 in my face, and I have 25 in each of my trapezius muscles to help with migraines.
Devaney, how old are you?
23.
And how many units of Botox do you have?
Besties, there's 6 billion men in the world, and you're telling me you're choosing one that makes you pay rent?
Let's cut the cap, shall we? There are 6 billion people in the world, most of whom don't live in first world conditions. 5% of people make over 6 figures in America, and low 6 figures is no longer bougie money. Of said 5%, how many are men? How many are over 6 feet tall? How many are single? How many are under 40? And how many want committed relationships? Exactly.
This woman doesn't understand that there is more of her than the high value man she's looking for. And she's giving bad advice to other women just because she got lucky with a high value man that might leave her for another woman. And then she can do nothing about it because the man here is the one who has the ball, not her. I still don't know why these modern women give bad advice like this to other women.
The fact that women feel entitled might be understandable from some aspects, but the fact that they feel too entitled, which means they feel entitled just because that's how it is the topic of discussion and debate here. And it is even more so because society has jumped on the woke feminist bandwagon that calls for equality in every aspect of life. Modern women will try to use your emotions against you in order to fulfill their own wishes because, as we all know, they feel entitled. They will try to get you to buy them gifts, allow them to see other people, move closer to where they work, and believe what they want you to believe.
You can't expect us to be wifey material for someone that doesn't deserve it.
Automatically wrong.
Okay, so you expect me to give my all and give my best to
I
someone?
expect you to appreciate the men that built the world around you, that allow you to be able to live in a first world country. The entitlement you guys have. So entitled. In college today, the average man sitting in college with a woman knows that that woman wants a man making 6 figures. They can't even date because today young women don't want men who are making average money. The men you typically date are older and have money.
Yeah.
You want everything. You don't know what the world costs. And that is why most women cannot respect men. Gentlemen, act accordingly. Treat them equal if they want to be treated equal.
There's no end to it. And it frequently succeeds with weak men. They are primarily chasing one thing, and they will put up with abuse solely for the sake of that one thing, which we all know. Thus, they fall for the manipulative tactics of women, both intentionally and unknowingly. Therefore, it is best for males to keep their distance from such women who they are aware will exploit and manipulate you to fulfill the expectations that they feel entitled to.
Serious question. Would you let a guy take you to a chain restaurant, like to Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Applebee's on the first date? Because I wouldn't. Like, I will just never reply back to you because what? Why would you take me there?
How much should a guy spend on a wedding ring?
Well, given that it's a wedding ring, that means we'd have to get to the point of getting married, and I won't even entertain a guy if he doesn't drive at least a $300,000 car. Not to mention, if we do get to that point, the ring literally has to be someone's mortgage.
Right, yeah. So you want a guy with a lot of money?
Are you f***ing kidding? If it's not Bill Gates, I'm not marrying him.
I guess it's valid.
Baby, this kitty makes more money than Bill Gates, I'll tell you that.
What are you talking about?
Of course we're gold diggers. If you don't have a car, we not linking. Of course we gold diggers. If you ain't spending no cash, you don't get none of this ass. Shake it, baby! Of course we gold diggers. If you not wearing no ice, you don't look nice. Of course we gold diggers. I like designer, not Shein. That's my girl! Yep. Of course we gold diggers. All we care about is money. Yes, baby! Of course we gold diggers. If you don't make more than 8 figures, what do you make? Yes, yes, yes!
What happened to equality, right? Throughout their lives, men are supposed to do everything for women and literally dedicate their lives to providing for, protecting, and helping women. And you know what? Men do that with honor. They do it proudly because that's in their nature. I'm talking about high-value men, not a simp who starts crying if he gets rejected by a girl.
What's good money?
Pull up your account.
My phone is dead.
Okay.
What is good?
Until you can pull up your account, then...
Well, give us an idea. Why does it have to be about me? Is a couple million enough?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Like nowadays, the market is so inflated that to get a 31-year-old girl...
You know what's funny though?
You need to have multi-million dollars, like to get a ran through 31-year-old like sweatpants Birkenbag. You need to have multiple M's in the bank.
I know.
That's insane.
You can't just be funny and have a fucking 8-inch hammer anymore.
Hold
what the fuck?
Hold on. Do you hate women?
No. I love women.
Are you sure?
I do. I love women.
What's your relationship like with your
I
mom?
have a great relationship with my mom.
Really? She hugged you and shit when you were
I
little?
did. I was just talking to her right before this. Like right before I walked in,
Why do you find that so hard to believe?
I'm feeling a little anger, misogyny.
Oh, don't you dare say that word. Don't
you really want to end right now?
Equal rights come with equal responsibilities. But not for women. Women are the darlings of society who can get all the benefits of equality, but barely any responsibility. The fact that the Mgtow movement only affects women is something that people are not told about. Men who are harassed or assaulted by a female coworker are largely ignored until convincing evidence is presented to the contrary.
You have a social security, right? I came to America with nothing, with $2,000 and a 6-year-old son. And I saw, when I walked down the street, I saw so many homelesses, and I said, you know what? These homelesses have social security. I had to work my ass off to get my social security. When you have a social security, this country give you a lot of benefits. You have free medical care, you get free education, you get books, you get help with food, you get everything. If you're smart and you think out of the box and researching, when you have a social security and you have American passport, you can make a lot of money. The problem, the majority of people and women, especially in this country, are entitled, prostitute mentality, want to find a man that pay for everything. They lazy, they rather lay on their stomach and have and take money from that than to go. When I didn't have money, I went and cleaned Airbnb houses. And you know what? I'm proud of myself for that.
So, it's a no-brainer that women are now facing tougher times in the workplace. They now have to deal with a lot of skeptical men who are already sort of afraid of dealing with these women in fear of being accused of something they didn't do.
How much should a guy earn for you to date him? Over 500k, close to $1 million. If he doesn't, I'm not gonna say yes, do you hear me? How much should a guy pay for the engagement ring? He needs to pay again, 500. He gets paid every year, 500. He saves that towards the ring. If he doesn't, he's gonna get a no and it's gonna be embarrassing.
It might be more embarrassing asking someone like this to marry him. That might be more embarrassing.
Feminism has also emancipated men who no longer want to take on the role of the family man as an indentured servant for life to family. A family that can be destroyed on the emotional whim of a woman at any time. Men have adapted to the new paradigm and are now far better off being single, in mind, body, soul, and materialistic possessions even of the minimalist nature.
When I say everyone is insecure, everybody is insecure. We was at a bar and a man wouldn't buy me a drink, so I was like, oh, that's fine. Because we were talking and he ordered drinks and didn't order me and my friend drinks. And I was like, this is rude. So I just said to the waiter, the bartender, like, add 2 double vodka and sodas onto that. And he said no. I was like,
my nigga.
Not only did she feel entitled to a drink, she felt entitled for her friend to get a drink as well.
What's wrong with you?
And then she had the balls to just order the drink anyway. Should I blame her or should I blame all the simps that made this the norm for her whole life? I'm gonna go with both. And she looks cartoonish, but I bet she thinks she a baddie. I'm sure once she put all her fake up on, she looks somewhat impressive. But yeah, most of these chicks are mid. I wonder if they had to walk around all day with their real face, would they be as arrogant and entitled?
Oh, I think we both know the answer to that.
Until women became so enamored with reality television, which for 99.99% of women is not reality, this was not a problem. Sadly, however, they believe they deserve that, despite the fact that demand is significantly greater than supply. They ought to put an end to their attempts to become the next Kardashian or whoever else they admire. If you believe that being wife material can be turned on or off, you are not. The real problem is that some women don't want to try to be the perfect woman because they want the perfect man.
a few months ago, I took my parents to court for having me without my permission, and I won. So the court ordered them to give me $5,000 a month to cover my basic living expenses. Well, they went and had that appealed. So now they don't have to give me any money, and I have to go get a job. And I'm realizing, like, I don't have any work experience or any higher education. Nowhere's paying me $5,000 a month. So how the hell am I supposed to be able to afford my bills? Like, what? Don't have children if you don't want to support them.
In the end, men are responsible for buying and maintaining the house and cars, fixing anything that goes wrong, lawn care, trash care, and being the breadwinner for the family. Women on the other hand are only responsible for the children. They don't even want to cook and clean anymore, or even take care of the children if they can get out of it.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.